Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Civilization Public School. We're doing a little podcast with our proud son, Zain Siddiqui, who is working in Germany right now. He's been in Germany for 2.5 years now. Zain.
Yeah.
And before that, a long time ago, 7 years ago, he was a student of Civilizations Public School, and he did his O-levels from there and did A-levels at another school. I'll let Zain tell you about it, and then went on to Germany to study engineering and management now, and has also been working in Germany. So welcome, Zain.
Thank you so
back
much for
to
having
the
me.
school. Good for you to come back and visit us. And I know that you've just been in the staff room speaking to your teachers there, and a warm welcome.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
So Zain, tell us about yourself. What are you doing in Germany? Where are you foremost?
So I'm living in Germany right now, currently near Munich, and I'm studying there. I'm studying engineering management, as Sir Ali just mentioned. Currently doing my bachelor's degree and simultaneously working at a German company called MediaMarkt, which is a European electronic retail supplier. And there I'm working in the legal corporate department, where I look into the legal operations, working with resolutions, working with a lot of data. That's my work part, and then also studying.
What are you studying?
I'm studying engineering and management, which is a fusion of all the management modules, also the technical side. So I really enjoy studying engineering management.
So, and you've been there for, you said, how many years now?
For 2.5 years.
Okay, so I understand Germany, the study program, the highest education program in Germany, is very tied into a bit of outside work as well.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that. Where have you been working?
So पढ़ाई के साथ साथ आपको practical experience is a major part of your education. So I used to work. I recently started working at where I just mentioned, in the legal department. But I used to work in retail before, and then I did an internship in between in Austria, and I have an internship coming up next year, and I have my courses, elective modules, that I have to complete in another country, working somewhere for a week or something, which I'm really looking forward to working to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this MediaMarkt that you're working for, this is part of your weekly 20 hours a week work that you're allowed.
Yes.
Okay, but that's not an internship.
That's not an internship. That's just a part-time work. That's a permanent job that I'm doing. Internships usually are for a limited time. That I did in Austria for about 6 weeks.
Where were you working? What was this company doing?
I used to. So basically, it was August 2024, and I got appointed as an intern in a company called PIA Automation. That's a big company, automobile parts supplier, working with Mercedes, BMW, a lot of other companies. So I used to work as an intern in their software and robotics department. I was into PLC programming, working with robots. Yeah, it was a very different experience. It was in a city called Graz. Yeah, so
That's an hour south of Vienna or something?
2 hours, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you went to Vienna, liked it?
From the 6 weeks that I was in Graz, I was in Vienna every weekend.
Okay.
So there were friends visiting me from my office, so they were all...
बेटा इसलिए नहीं भेजा था तुम्हें पढ़ने लिखने के लिए भेजा था, ना कि तुम शहरों में घूमते फिरो.
I mean, weekends की flexibility रखनी चाहिए, so it's fine.
Okay, so but I understand this getting internship in Germany, it's a little technical, and I know that you've interviewed far and wide. And who have you interviewed with?
I've had a lot of interviews. I've had interviews with SAP, with Audi, with MediaMarkt, the company. It's a big name in Germany, whole of Europe. I have an interview coming up next week with Allianz.
Mm-hmm.
It's
the insurance group.
Yeah. I also had it with them last week, and then another coming up next week. So
these interviews are conducted in English?
No, not at all. I mean, so basically my interview at MediaMarkt, they asked me initially, "Hi, good morning. Do you want to do it in English or German?" I said, "I'm comfortable with it." Like they asked in English, I said, "I'm comfortable with anything you want me to. It's fine." I said, "I think you know English, so we're gonna do it in German."
That was a trick question.
So
Okay, but all the other interviews with Audi and with
they were all
SAP were,
yeah.
and then your interview at for PR Automation in Austria was.
Yeah. It was a technical interview, and it was all in German.
So you speak German fluently.
I speak German fluently.
So there's a bit of a background to you speaking German fluently. And let's go back to it. So when you landed in Germany, did you know your German?
I did know my German to a certain level, which is B1, but I would say it's a good level to start with. I could have done more. I was offered to do B2, but because of my other commitments, I was not able to. But I wish I had to. I had taken the opportunity. But it was fine. I started with B1, and initially, of course, I had issues with the dialect that they have. Of course, they're natives, but I knew that I had to somehow cope up with the different accents, with everything.
Where did you pick? So where did you pick up your German?
I joined Civilizations in grade 7, and I would say the credit obviously goes to my father, who I was not old enough to decide it on my own to switch schools or study German or study in an O-level school. My father actually decided that I need to study a language, and German to be specific. And that is exactly when I started German in grade 7, when I joined Civilizations, and then studying it through the years until grade 11.
So you did your A1s, your A2s, and
B1.
And then you did your B1.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you did your O levels, you had done your B1.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then once you had graduated from Civilizations,
then I went to do my A levels, which again offered German, but then it was again from the very basic level, and they were teaching A1, which is too basic for me, but I still joined the classes because I had fun there. But obviously I could not improve my German there. Did it on my own as much as I could, but the basics were basically held. The roots are all.
Okay, so it was basically you leverage your B1 that you did at Civilizations, and
yes.
you went on to do that. No, I'm pleased with that, because you are with B1, and that's the lesson, guys, that we learn. To be able to operate in Germany comfortably, you need to do your B1s. And
at least a B1. I mean, the more the better.
Of course, the more the better. But at least the B1, and B1 we do by grade 11.
Yeah.
And that's the target at Civilizations right now, and then hit that target. But beyond that, so was that the only thing that helps you in Germany, that you know German? What else did you pick up at school in Pakistan that you think helps you there?
Well, I would say that the sport, I mean, it's very different. I did not mention it before, but the sports and the curriculars that I was offered at Civilizations really played a huge role, because I understood the importance of it, not at the back during my time at Civilizations, but then later on. I'm into sport there in Germany, going into clubs and playing badminton there at some weekend, going for a volleyball match on weekends with my friends. That's really something that I
How does that help?
It's just a part of the lifestyle there. You know, to be integrated well with the society, there are certain things that you need to level up with. So I think it's more about the lifestyle there, and of course the learning that I had. I used to be in the football team here. I remember one of the best times during my school life, and it was amazing. And then I took that thing in the back of my mind. I had that कि पढ़ाई के साथ अच्छा है अगर मैं कोई खेल खेलूं. So it was. I just continued there. It's a huge thing for me. Like.
Okay, so that one sport. The other is, did you do your ad maths here at Civilizations?
Yeah, I did my ad maths. I did my Urdu syllabus A, मैं बाय द वे मैं अपनी उर्दू पे बहुत फ़ख्र है मुझे, क्योंकि मेरी उर्दू बहुत अच्छी है और होनी भी चाहिए, बिकॉज व्हाट आई सी in the Western world is that they are very proud of their mother languages, regardless from what nationality you're coming from. But the Pakistanis, they're more proud of their English. मेरी अंग्रेज़ी बहुत ख़राब हो चुकी है, स्पेशली जर्मनी जाने के बाद से, but I'm very proud of my Urdu, so that's a huge thing. And then at the same time studied literature in English, which is, again, I would not say it's a huge thing, but it's a skill. If I read a poem, I know the science behind it. I know the building blocks behind it. So it's a.
But also, I mean, when you were applying for jobs in Germany,
Yeah.
you'd write your letters in English first,
Yes.
and they were beautifully crafted letters. So they came from your intimate
Definitely.
knowledge and interaction with English.
Definitely.
And it was only then that you were translating them into German.
Yeah.
So I think that would help in your drafting and therefore in your job
Yeah.
hunting process.
Yeah.
I think that would help. But you just said to me that you did your additional mathematics, yeah.
Yeah, additional mathematics, which has helped me until the last semester. I mean, it will always help me because that's the first step that you're gonna take all the way along throughout your university.
So would you say, in your judgment, people who have not done ad maths, will they struggle at a German university?
They will struggle because it's not the normal ordinary mathematics. It's very different than that, what you study in the university. So, I mean, they will struggle. They'll eventually find their way out, obviously. But if you have the opportunity, why not?
Okay. No, this is excellent. It's just pleasing to see that things that you picked up at the school are helping you with your going to Germany, and then you're getting a job in Germany, etc. So this is very heartening that things that you picked up at school are the ones that are helping you out at your job hunting, at your university life, and with your getting into Germany in the first place.
Yeah. Even the social life there, interacting with people, everything.
Okay, so just going back to school, what's the best part of school for you?
Of school? Well, I love the campus. It's beautiful. I really like the teaching style here. I've always been a fan of all the teachers here.
You just went back into the staff room and it was difficult to pull you out of there.
Yeah, suddenly and then he's like, "ये तो मैं नहीं छोड़ेंगे." वो actually नहीं छोड़ रहे थे. So I'm planning to go back there. So
okay, well,
it's always fun.
After this, of course.
Yeah.
I think. So just one more thing before we end this interview. Who else is there in Germany?
So they're with me. मेरे जो आगे पीछे batches के लोग हैं. So there's 3 more people other than me. One of them is Fatma Beg, who's studying at the same university as me. Zain Anwar, who's also studying at the same university as me, different courses. Zain and Fatma are studying together. And then there's Roha Sajid, who's studying at a university for about 5 hours away from where I live. Yeah, but we meet up often.
Okay, so there's a knot of civilization students who are there in Germany.
Yeah.
No, that is good to hear. Thank you. And thank you for coming back to school. I know that
Always a
every
pleasure.
time you're back in Pakistan, you are at the school, and
I have to. I have to be back here.
Again, it was, guys, it was difficult to pull Zain Siddiqui out of staff room, and which is where he's going back to after this. So I think we'll let him go. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the podcast as well.
Thank you for having me.